Appreneur provides you with all the tools necessary to manage the performance of your app. All errors are handled through two main processes. First, exception handling is the process of responding to computational exceptions, the unusual or exceptional conditions requiring special processing. These exceptions often change the normal flow of program execution. Handled exceptions are predefined by a developer during the app development. When this type of exception occurs, the system automatically recognizes the error and displays the issue on the handled exception dashboard. Second, crash is every crash error that occurs outside of a handled exception. Think of these errors as unknown bugs that needs to be resolved. Appreneur reports these kinds of errors by OS directly onto the dashboard. Appreneur provides a system for reporting and managing errors that have occurred within your app. In today's market, when an error is identified, developers and product managers scramble to investigate the root cause. Normally, when an error occurs within an app, the company response is reactive and not proactive. Oftentimes, companies are completely unaware of a bug is even present until it has affected a large group of users. Appreneur, however, reports all errors immediately and utilizes a proprietary system to manage the error resolution process, similar to other productivity softwares like JIRA. Appreneur is your one-stop shop error management solution that eliminates the need for any productivity management software. When an error occurs, the Appreneur AI bot analyzes every error pattern and automatically groups error data directly onto the dashboard. The error will immediately be subject to an error stage. There are 4 possible stages for an error: definition stage, working stage, verification stage, and close stage. These stages reflect the type of an action that needs to be performed by the newly discovered error. The first stage is define stage. Define errors out for review and deploy to be debugged. Typically, they will be new or unknown errors that end up being assigned to a specific individual. The second stage is the working stage. Work on errors that are currently being debugged. Third stage is to verify. Verify errors that are reviewed and sent to be either closed or reopened. And finally, the close stage. That means to close errors. Similar to an error stage, an error status is used to clearly manage the day-to-day operation for resolving an error. The error status is a real-time reporting methodology Appreneur utilizes to communicate the status of an error to all involved parties. Once a user set an error status, this status is shown to other colleagues to notify what action needs to be taken. There are 7 different error stages in Appreneur: unconfirmed, new, assigned, reopened, resolved, verified, and closed. First, unconfirmed status shows a new error that has occurred within the app. Therefore, the overall situation should be assessed. There are 3 potential scenarios for an unconfirmed error. First, the error is completely new and classified as new. Second, the error has previously been encountered before and has been directly assigned to a group member and classified as assigned. Third, the error has been thoroughly investigated and has an extensive exception history and classified as resolved. Note that Appreneur will automatically alert the app owner within the dashboard only if the error is new. This is because an error can be assigned to an unconfirmed status from either resolve, verify, or close statuses. Second, new status. This status is new errors that have never been encountered in the past. These are errors that Appreneur has no exception history for. The errors in this status should be assigned by the manager to the appropriate department within the company. During this process, the manager will also have changed the status of an error to assigned under-reporting status. Note that if the company is a small company, then the manager can assign this error directly to an appropriate person responsible. This error can be immediately classified as resolved only if a clear path to debugging the issue is apparent and all responsible parties have committed to a set timeline. The third status is assigned status. This status is an error status that only the engineering manager and engineers utilize. Engineering manager assign tasks to engineers through this error status. Assigned errors can only be moved into the resolved status. However, in order to move the error into resolved, a fix must be identified and the error must be debugged. Next, resolved status. This status is for errors that have been completely fixed and debugged. There are three different statuses that a resolved error can move into. 1. Verified. The resolved error has been updated by the developer, and all related comments have been included within the description section. These errors have been passed through QA. 2. Unconfirmed. Resolved errors that could not be fixed by the developer. In this scenario, the assigned developer spent significant time investigating a fix, however was unable to resolve the issue. Thus, the status would change from resolved to unconfirmed. 3. Closed. Resolved errors that do not warrant any further investigation. A developer may exercise judgment regarding the need to continue exploring a fix for an error. If past experience indicates that an error is a non-issue, then status may be moved to closed so that the other resolved errors can be prioritized. The fifth status is verified status. This status is resolved errors that have gone through a QA process and passed. If there is no QA team, the review would be performed by another team member the developer deems appropriate. After the QA process is complete, the results are reported within the description section. Verified errors can be moved into three different statuses. 1. Closed. An error that has been successfully verified and no additional action items are present. 2. Reopened. A verified error where a problem was discovered with a fix. This error is sent back to the developer for review. 3. Unconfirmed. An error that needs to be reassessed from the start. Note that verified errors often see the most back and forth activity because there are many different use cases where an error may occur. This results in a verified error frequently being switched between different statuses. Number 6. Reopened status. This status is errors marked by the developer as resolved, however switched back to reopened by QA after reanalysis. A reopened error should be assessed as to whether the status should be changed back to resolved or assigned by the engineering manager. If the issue is minor and can be easily fixed, the developer should handle the error. However, if the error is difficult and requires more resources, the engineering manager should reassign the error to another team member. The final status is close status, which is the final stage of an error during the debugging process. If an error status was changed to closed, yet continues to reoccur in the app, this error can reappear as unconfirmed error and restart the debugging process. Alternatively, if a problem was discovered after the error was marked as closed, then the status can be changed back to reopened and then can undergo a review. Appreneur's complex error status history, including who worked on this error and their respective comments, are all available at the exception of crash profile of performance section. When used correctly, this error status history should tell the full story behind an error and how it was handled within the team. The reporting history of an error is particularly important during the debugging process because similar errors often reoccur within an app. In the event that an error consistently reappears, the engineering manager is able to quickly identify how to appropriately respond. Perhaps the developer in charge did not effectively address the bug, or perhaps the correct fix was not issued. No matter the case, the error status history will point out these issues so that an appropriate solution can be implemented. Errors are common within mobile app ecosystem and have large implication for app owners. Errors and app failures spark negative review within the App Store and is a leading cause for high uninstall rates. Appreneur allows app owners to control their app brand by actively identifying and reacting to these app exceptions in real time.